Dear friends and fellows, welcome to HSC tutorial. Today I'm going to disclose the secrets of aggression in the workplaces, and we will also learn the principles of anger management. I'm your host Javed, and you are watching Safety First. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, and if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share with your friends. Dear friends and fellows, there are many myths about anger. Anger is inherited. Anger automatically leads to aggression. You must be aggressive to get what you want. Venting anger is always desirable. Three of the myths or stories of anger are very famous. These myths may be fit on you or me, but not on the other person. You will go through, you will think, and you will find out either these are belonging to you as well. Number one, you are born with your anger and you cannot change the way you deal with it. Number two, aggression, fighting is the only way to deal with anger. And number three, you have to be aggressive to get what you want or need. These are three different statements, but maybe one, two, or all are compatible with me, you, or anyone else around us. Let us understand what is the meaning of these myths one by one. Number one, you have learned how to show your anger over time. You can learn other healthier ways to express anger. Number two, there are other ways to deal with anger, like learning how to control how much anger you have, learning how to talk about what angers you, learning to think about things differently and check your thoughts to see if they are right, learn tools to handle and express your anger. Number three, you can get people to hear what you want or need without harming others or acting in a way you will feel bad about later. This is called being assertive. A simple way to monitor your anger is to use a 1 to 10 scale called the anger meter. A score of 1 on the anger meter represents a complete lack of anger or a total state of calm, whereas 10 represents an angry and explosive loss of control that leads to negative consequences. Anger is not just sudden. There are some reasons. Let us discuss the events that trigger anger. When you get angry, it is because you have encountered an event in your life that has provoked your anger. Many times, specific events touch on sensitive areas. These sensitive areas are red flags, usually refer to long standing issues that can easily lead to anger. These are the different triggers, those mechanized or increase the level of anger. I guess you are aware of anger ultimately leads to aggression. So we must know what is aggression in the workplace. Any incident in which employees and other people are abused, threatened, or assaulted at work, that is called aggression. Do you know, when we get angry, we need to learn how to use our anger creatively and effectively, not to hurt people, but to heal yourself and your relationships with others. There are different stages of anger. What we usually call anger is actually only the first stage, the protective stage. Your anger gives you a power boost to make you feel bigger and stronger so that you can face a person who seems more powerful than you or a situation that seems too difficult to manage. Anger automatically triggers to aggression. There are different reasons. Number one, You experience a situation, a behavior that you judge is unfair, hurtful, or in some other way wrong. Number two, you feel unable to calmly and easily right the wrong. This may be because you believe that you lack the skill or ability to do so, or the person or situation seems bigger than you can handle. Number three, the experience is troubling enough that you cannot simply tolerate it or let it go. These type of situations, people, circumstances, and conditions or behavior triggers your anger. Do you know anger cover such feelings like afraid, ignored, overwhelmed, ashamed, abandoned, controlled, criticized, unappreciated, unfairly treated, blamed, or inadequate, rejected? Most of the time, anger covers these deeper feelings. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss now the physical indicators of anger. Physical indicators are different for each individual. Identifying physical indicators can help an individual to know that it's time to do something to calm down. Identifying physical indicators can help an individual see how anger and stress can be unhealthy. You can see the physical indicators of anger in different shapes and forms: flushed face, increased heart rate, higher blood pressure, dilated pupils, heavy breathing, sweaty hands, feeling hot, clenched fists, tightened muscles, stomach aches, headaches, numbness, difficulty thinking, shaking or trembling. These are the different forms or the physical indicators of anger. As I told you, aggression has different forms. What is the difference between threat, assault, or physical attack? Dear friends and fellows, any statement or behavior that leads a person to believe they are in danger of being physically attacked. This can be an implied or actual threat to safety, health, or well being, is threat, while assault or physical attack, the direct or indirect application of force by a person to the body of the clothing or equipment worn by another person, whereby this action creates a risk to health and safety. But remember, neither the intent nor ability to carry out the threat is relevant. In these circumstances, let us discuss now what responsibilities are put on employers by OHS regulations. Aggression in the workplace in any form is not part of the job, part of the business. Aggression in the workplace is a workplace hazard, and employers must take reasonable, practical steps to protect employees and other people in the workplace from aggressive incidents which may injure or harm them. Take reasonable care to ensure their own health and safety. Avoid adversely affecting the safety and health of any person through any act or omission at work so far as able. Follow instructions for the safety and health of the employee or safety and health of other person. Report any situation to the workplace that they believe may constitute a hazard, and report any work-related injury or harm to health and safety department. Organization has to develop and implement a culture of mutual respect for each other and zero tolerance policy for aggression in the workplace. This means that employees are expected to act and speak in respectful ways to each other and clients regardless of other person's behavior. All incidents of aggression in the workplace must be reported. Reporting incidents is very important. Incidents will be investigated to identify all causes and to work out how to prevent it from happening again. Do you know the adverse effects of aggression in the workplace? Aggression in the workplace is a hazard as it presents as a risk to a person's health and may give rise to an injury. This includes physical injuries, psychological conditions that may result include but not limited to post-traumatic stress disorder, depressive disorders, and anxiety disorders. But here the question is how to identify a workplace that is aggressive. If employees have experienced aggression in the workplace, changes in their workplace behavior may be observed, such as increased absenteeism from work, increased tardiness, increased sick leave, decline in productivity and performance standards, impaired concentration or ability to make decisions, which increases the risk of injury, and reluctance to return to workplace area where the event occurred. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss now the psychological signs and symptoms of aggression. Employees may also experience the signs and symptoms through four ways in their body. These four ways are: number one, physical; number two, emotional; number three, cognitive; and number four, behavioral. First of all, let us find the symptoms or signs. Those can be observed physically by an individual or by the line management in their workforce. Physical signs might be increased heart rate, pounding, elevated blood pressure, sweaty palms, tightness in the chest, headaches, diarrhea, tightness in neck, back muscles, trembling, tics or twitching, stuttering, other speech difficulties, pupil dilation, nausea or vomiting, sleep disturbance, fatigue, proneness to accidents, slump posture, shallow breathing, susceptibility to minor illnesses, dryness of mouth or throat, or the butterflies in stomach. These all are the physical signs of aggression. What are the cognitive signs? Cognitive signs might be forgetfulness, preoccupation, blocking, errors in judging distance, diminished or exaggerated fantasy life, reduced creativity, difficulty in making decisions, mental confusion, lack of concentration, diminished productivity, lack of attention to detail, orientation to past, and oversensitivity to criticism. These all are the signs of cognitive aggression. Let us discuss now the emotional signs and symptoms in an employee or group of workers. Emotional signs might be irritability, lowered self-esteem, angry outbursts, depression, jealousy, feeling uptight, suspiciousness, diminished initiative, loneliness, helplessness, insecurity, frustration, lack of interest, tendency to cry, critical of oneself and others, lacking in confidence, self-deprecation, exhaustion, or desire to escape. Let us discuss now the behavioral signs of aggression: increased smoking, aggressive driving, having accidents, clumsiness, nervous laughter, panic, increased alcohol or drug abuse, carelessness, eating too much, fast, even coherent speech, and chewing fingernails, These all are the signs and symptoms of behavioral aggression. Dear friends and fellows, now you can easily make a checklist and you can easily identify in your relevant workplaces what kind of aggression is there in your workers or in your own personality. After discussing the different signs and symptoms of aggression, let us understand now the sources of aggression in the workplace. Number one, internal sources of aggression. First of all, we will look on internal sources of aggression. Internal sources of aggression occurs between employees within the same organization. This may include upwards, downwards, and sideways. Supervisors, co-workers, or employee to manager or supervisor. A conflict or dispute supervisors, between supervisors and co-workers, between supervisors and line manager, between line manager and the employees. This is the internal source of aggression within a workplace. Let us look now the external sources of aggression. The sources is usually someone outside of the workplace and usually associated with robbery and other crime. Third source is service related. The source is usually associated with providing a service either to a client, member of the public, patient, or inmate. In all cases, it is the responsibility of the organization or the management to carry out a risk assessment. An employer must conduct a risk assessment. Once a hazard has been identified, the risk assessment creates the likelihood of the injury occurring against the severity of the consequences if the injury occurs. Let us discuss the overall risk factors. Working with valuable objects such as cash, drugs, and jewelry. Working with distrust or client, for example, patients and customers. Working with intoxicated people. Working with people who have a history of aggression or mental health conditions. Working alone, working at night, delivery of passengers, goods or services, working in community-based or healthcare settings, contact with the public, or working in high crime areas. Let us discuss and understand now the person-specific risk factors. It might be experience of employees, employee training and skills, employees' ability to diffuse anger, or employees' personality, timid, confrontational, etc. Dear friends and fellows, workplace aggression follows a pattern of increasing aggression, which may involve annoyance, raised voices, verbal threats, and physical gestures, or actual physical violence. Be aware of these signs so that you can avoid the situation getting worse. You have to keep in your good mind. If you hold on to anger for a long time, it causes you problems, maybe physically, maybe mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. In physical case, if you hold the anger, it might lead to ulcers, diarrhea, frequent colds, flus, slow wound healing, heart attacks, headaches, backaches, or high blood pressure, etc. If you hold on to anger for a long time, mental, emotional, and spiritual problems, it separates you from other people. Keep feeling like a victim. Impacts your ability to be grateful and have a healthy spirit, feeling inadequate depression and anxiety. Let us discuss now the positive coping strategies, how you can manage anger, how you can manage your aggressiveness, deal with it. Deep breathing, muscle relaxation, imagery, and positive self-talk. How you can manage your anger or aggression. What you can do. Different situations may call for different action depending on how severe and immediate the threat of violence is. In journal, if you feel under threat, stay calm. Don't provoke the aggressor. Withdraw yourself from the situation. Try not to get isolated. Don't confront or pursue the offender. If the offender requests money, give it to them. Defend yourself only as a last resort. Report it to your manager or safety committee representative as early as possible. How you can diffuse anger. If confronted by an angry person, you may be able to diffuse the situation. Try to make eye contact, but don't stare. Stand about 4 feet away, hands open with arms at your sides. Avoid challenging body language, such as hands on hips or pointing a finger. Be considerate of cultural differences or disabilities. Stop what you are doing and give the person your full attention. Speak respectfully. Treat the person as you would like to be treated. Be open and honest. Let the person have his or her say without interruption. Once the person has finished expressing their feelings, you can begin to ask questions. Ask for specific examples of person's concern. Be careful to define the problem. Display empathy. For example, I can see this has upset you. Ask open-ended questions. For example, tell me what's going on. What do you think the issue is? What would you like to see happen? Anything else? Give me an example. Tell me more about. Reflect back to the person what you are hearing. You would like to refund because the product is faulty. What will be the role of management immediately after the incident? They have to remove staff from the work environment until it is safe to return. Management has to provide or access first aid or medical assistance. Management has to provide immediate support to staff who need it, including witnesses or bystanders. And management has to provide debriefing opportunity to staff. Management has to report the incident to the police, may not be the first step, depending on the situation. Site management has to report the issue to the top management and the occupational safety and health department. By completing workplace hazard or incident reporting form. Dear friends and fellows, what to do if you have concerns about another employee? Speak to the employee. Use empathy and non-judgmental listening skills. I noticed you don't seem yourself. Can I help with anything? I noticed you seem a bit down lately. Can I help with anything? Offer information on where the employee can access support and assistance. Follow up with the employee at a later date. Speak to the employee's manager in private and raise the concerns you have. Dear friends and fellows, what to do if you have concerns about yourself? Discuss your concerns with your general safety practitioner, safety officer, safety engineer, or the safety coordinator. Speak to someone you trust and let them know how you have been feeling. Speak to your manager and raise the concerns you have. And even if the external support is available and manageable, you can get access and get the professional advice and help from the relevant authorities. But in all cases, you have to manage your aggression. You have to know the reasons or causes which makes you anger. To manage your concerns of anger or aggression towards you, you have to start Positive self-talk. Think, my problem will not be as bad tomorrow or next week. Think, I will get through this. Think, I can make it. Think of advice you would give your best friend in this situation. Or think of something happy or that can make you laugh. This is the simple way how you can diffuse your anger and control yourself. Dear friends and fellows, for a management or an organization, they have to focus on 4 steps to prevent anger or aggression in their work area. Number one, develop roles and responsibilities for responding. Number two, by educating their workforce and by recognizing the problems at their work site. Number three, follow procedures for addressing violence. And number four, foster a healthy communication environment where anyone can easily approach to his line management for their own problems or the problems of their co-workers. If the communication line is easy, accessible, and without any hassle, the workforce, employees, junior staff, and middle management, they can raise their concerns and they can get the solution instantly. The problems might be solved at a low level. There is no possibility of a bigger violence in the workplace in that organization. And it will also help to keep the workforce healthy and safe. They can put efforts in progress and protection. That is the only and number one goal of any business or the organization or management. And that's it. Training session related to the causes of aggression in the workplace and the techniques or the principles of anger management is over now. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and share. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Till then, take care. Good luck and Allah Hafiz.